just Junt in general. But yeah, that's my thought. We definitely gonna make sure. Did you got the what you call it? What you call this thing? The link for the GoFundMe. For the GoFundMe.
Oh yeah, I can send that to you.
Okay.
Off of Facebook.
Yep.
I just want to make sure because I'm mentioning all the shows.
Right.
Man, this Rittenhouse trial.
People. I've been watching. I have my thoughts and opinions on it, but this ain't this ain't what we're here for.
No, that's not what we're here for.
Right.
But I mentioned that because we are doing the other two shows live tonight.
Okay.
And of course we're gonna be talking about it. I need you on that Urban Academia.
On Urban Academia?
Yeah, man.
That's the one you tagged me in.
Yeah, and Chulo Rich. We kind of gotta talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
But our little tagline is "Common sense ain't coming."
Ain't that the truth?
I'm trying to get as many different people involved as possible, man.
Okay.
Just stop by, click the link, say your piece. But we're gonna try to break that down a little bit.
What time is it tonight?
7 your time.
7 my time. Okay, that ain't half bad. I'll be getting ready. I'll be in Franklin. Then after Franklin, I'll be going to they have an all black party. We had the all white party last time, so this is all black season. So we have an all black.
Is
party.
That T?
T having tonight at the what's the name? Spring Hill.
Good. Yeah, so that's what I mean. It's my crazy schedule. So limited and everything. Just finishing up here.
Yeah.
Just been so limited. So I only have Saturday. So I was trying to squeeze it in somewhere where maybe people are in between, like doing stuff with their kids and getting ready to go out. Right?
Yeah.
It's on the background.
Yeah.
Have a
we can definitely do that. I can definitely do that. And then I'll send it to me too, so I can share it on my page. And definitely to GoFundMe.
Absolutely. So we got that. Anything you like to promote or anything?
Ooh. What we got coming up outside of this all black party, because this is recorded, right? Yes.
This won't go until next Saturday.
Okay, so next Saturday they'll be doing the downtown Christmas tree lighting. If I'm not mistaken, I do believe who is it? Big Shakes might be opening up that particular weekend or around that time, to be determined. What else is going on that I need to mention?
Well, that's fine. You can text it to me now or later.
Yeah. I think about later.
Which is anything. Yeah. So we want to treat this like it's next weekend.
Yeah.
So anything. So if you want to mention, just
this is what we got going on tonight, man. I think Big Shake's gonna open if his dad's there. All right, I got you.
There you go.
We're supposed to do that now, later.
Yeah, man. You do that with shoes whenever you feel. All right. You ready? Yeah, 1 minute past my time. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Frapping Book Club. I'm your host, Jay Zilla. Got your boy over here. What's up, Mr. King? How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm living, brother. How you doing, man?
The same.
Good,
We're talking this week, The Untethered Soul.
Michael Singer.
Michael A. Singer. I like putting all the extra initials in.
Yeah, because you know who he is.
Yeah, what is it about like those extra initials, like Stephen A. Smith, right? Especially with authors, J.K. Rowling. Like, how does that work?
J.K. Rowling. I mean, it's a marketing thing because can't nobody say that they wrote the book. Well, you got some people say they wrote the book for you, ghostwriters, But even then, that's your you are the master. You got the master right then and there. It's not like in the music industry where you got to fight for your masters. No, I wrote this. This is mine. You can't really do nothing without me. So they kind of own their master. So they kind of stamp their name on it just a little bit better than we just throwing some kind of crazy name on top of it. So yeah,
right, man. Like
ownership.
Well, it's very regal, right?
Right.
Henry the Eighth or whatever.
Yeah.
A little bit the Eighth, right?
Yeah,
Henry. That sounds like a candy bar, but King Henry VIII, like, ooh, who's this guy?
Yeah,
right?
it was 7 more than black motherfuckers.
Absolutely. So what brought you to this book, man? Because this was your choice.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it tremendously.
Same.
What brought you to this book, this title?
So I went to Michigan. Maybe it was still warm outside. I know that much. I forgot when it was, but I went and was out there talking to some friends, and one of them was reading at the time Untethered Soul, and I said, I'm gonna have to add that to my little repertoire. So she let me see the book, and we just sitting there chilling. And I'm drinking wine, looking at the book. I'm like, this ain't too bad of a book. And so I just went ahead and put it on my Audible and said, yeah, we got to get to it, because it's been confirming a lot of things, like I said, that we've read before or that I've seen, I've heard, in a sense, you could say how success leaves clues, this is like, just a little bit more clues. And, and if you haven't paid attention to it before, you'll pay attention to it now, because it really helps, give you what exactly woke is, or awareness is, So yeah, it's a good thing. I like it.
Oh man, the very much co-opted, very much talked about woke term, right? Technology that goes the way of a lot of different things, right? Especially out the black community. How things get co-opted, changed just a little bit, just enough, and weaponized and used against what it was originally intended for.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, they say history is written by those who live, tell a story, or who win, and books is probably the best bet. And so
absolutely,
I love it.
All right, I'm gonna pause it right here. I'll try to edit this out.
All right.
But you have been like slowly sliding to your looks like left.
Oh, wait. That's what I was trying. I was trying to go the other way. There we go. There you go.
Right. There you go.
So in my mind, I think I need to go left. So I'm trying to slowly do it.
You were literally like slowly sliding out.
And I was going out of frame. I'm trying to figure what else, So anyway, we're back.
I'm gonna mark it right here. That's about the 6 minute.
Good.
6.5 minute mark. I don't know how far. Can you move the mic to your right?
Boom.
Oh,
is this good enough? Yeah.
Right there. You're centered. You look good. You sound, man, you look bigger than me. Look, here's what the giveaway: the face, right? I got the fat, big old head, big old Rockwall head. So we're not fooling anybody.
Oh man, I should have let my hair down. The only reason I didn't, because I didn't want anybody to see my hair before I go to this all black party. I thought it was gonna be live. But I said, well, shoot, let me go ahead and do this. Put it, be all right.
Yeah. Look at me comfortable with, man. I like that.
I mean, man, I got this over there. Can you see it? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So I got
Where'd
this over
you go?
Malawi, Africa. Malawi is Malawi guy. Yeah, so
I'm gonna try to don't worry, I'm gonna mention it later.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Okay.
So just go ahead and just pretend like you didn't hear me say any of that.
so Malawi is
no, not yet. Like
okay.
I'm gonna cut back in.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just gonna allow like 2 seconds for cut space after I finish talking, and then I'll cue you in with the question.
Okay.
Yeah, so right now just relax. Nice and relax. There you go. Quiet on the set. Now you're going too far right. Hold on.
I'm leaning. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, right there.
All right.
Okay. All right. We'll
now I got my.
All right, man. So what brought you to this title?
Man. Talked to some friends. I was out of state and drinking some wine. They suggested a book, and one of them just so happened to have the book. And so I started reading it, and I was like, oh yeah, this kind of goes in line with some of my ways of believing or seeing a perspective on life, and getting people, in my view or my opinion, this is what you consider like what you really call woke. or knowing or having some type of sense of awareness, just in life or in general, so if not necessarily a wake-up call, but it's one of those, if you in sleep paralysis, it'll kind of nudge you a little bit.
Absolutely. Well, look, one of those co-opted terms, man, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
That's it.
You take something and change it just a little bit, and then all of a sudden it becomes weaponized to be used against what the original intent was, right?
Yeah, people weaponize, like I said, the right books, you weaponize words, and perception is a bad mother lover, man. I tell you, Kyle Rittenhouse just got acquitted or whatever it was, Yeah. So, man, people feeling all kind of way, right? So perception. Perception.
Oh man,
And they use it.
perception for sure. And this is why I think not only me, but a lot of people, like us, right? Really, I think lean towards titles like this because it's sort of a call to action for self improvement, right?
Yeah.
No,
Definitely like a gut
don't
check.
worry about this. Don't worry about that. What can you do to improve you?
Exactly. That's it. I mean, because it's all about elevation. In the book it said transcending or transcending. You have to be able to think yourself higher. Paul said in the Bible, "I think myself happy," or as a man thinketh, so is he. Romans, what was it? 12:2. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It all boils down to the same thing. If you don't change the man in the mirror, and not necessarily the physical man, working out all the shit, and it's great and respectful in its own place. But at the same time, if you don't work on you, that little voice that you hear in your head, that little, if you don't work on that and what it's thinking about and how it's thinking, what we say in South Africa, E-way.
E-way. Speaking of South Africa, let's take a little break from the book.
Yeah.
Right. I'm looking at your pen. Where do you get that from, man?
Man, I got this in Malawi. It's a little part of South Africa in a little sense down here. It's not the country South Africa, but it's in that region, under the equator. It's between Tanzania and Mozambique. So it's, got one of the biggest. But you can't see, but if you go to the map, you just see Tanzania, Mozambique, and there's a big old lake right there in the middle called Malawi Lake or Lake Malawi, and along the whole country is a little lake, and that kind of gives you the outline. So yeah.
Now send your foot on that soil, right? That place with that history. Like did it sort of so to speak renew your mind at all or anything like that?
Definitely. I mean, I was talking to somebody about this the other day, and it goes perception. I have my ways of looking at it. The first time I got called an American was when I was over there. I'm like, oh, so there's a privilege to this, because my passport is blue. You know what I'm saying? So, so you're an American at that sense. Right. So, outside of that, going there and actually, stepping on soil, I went to Lake Malawi. Of course, it's a beach, but the sand is actually black, with gold flakes in it. You see gold flakes. And I brought some of the actual sand and gold flakes shit back. So I do have it here, in Colombia, because I didn't know. I knew nobody would believe me. I should have brought it. I didn't think nothing about it. But anyway, nonetheless, being able to put my foot there, knowing that, humanity started in Africa, because of that continent and the people that, they feed also walk that same ground, millions of years ago. It's almost like a sense of, okay, now I know where I'm going. It gives you a sense of direction in a sense. It gives, for me at least, give me a sense of direction. So I have a beeline to where I want to go and how I want to get there and how it's been working so far. It's really been going really good.
That's incredible, man. I love seeing growth in people, especially now, finding multiple, or I guess a myriad of ways, of paths, I guess, to growth.
Yeah. Again, I don't want to cut off, but there's a lot of different ways. I mean, because everybody don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to have a little knowledge in this or that. So whenever those conversations come up, you got something to talk about. And you'll be surprised how many people are actually interested in what we got to say, especially as a black man or black people in general. So I have no problem talking to anybody. I'm gonna find something we can relate about. If we watching sports, we can make a joke. I hear it and we just go from there. So but nonetheless, once I'm in, we're gonna talk, and I like to see, because I can learn something from you. Everyone has George Clinton says in the song flashlight, but the song is actually talking about your soul. Did you know that? So he said everybody's got a little light under the sun. That's all he said, man. He telling you everybody's got a little light under the sun. Everybody is, walking around with that same godlike energy, also the devil energy. But we read that in Outwin the Devil. It's dual. It's both of them there. Now who you decide to act on is, that's on you. So yeah.
And you see that played out in Yin Yang and all these different things.
Yeah.
Talking about growth. We'll go to the first quote here.
Yes.
There's nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it.
Simple as
That
that.
really struck me,
Mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
I've always thought about it. Like I felt like, it's this dual conflict inside,
Yes.
the internal
Yes.
conflict. But something about him putting it that way
Yeah.
really helped me to kind of organize that sort of line of thinking.
When I thought about that same scenario in a sense where I have to, think about what I'm thinking about, humans, we're probably about the only animals that I know of, or mammals in a sense, that can think about what they're thinking about. If
Mhm.
you take a ball, and my dog at least, you take a ball and throw it, she gonna run. You can tell her to sit, stay, she'll do it. If I take the ball and throw it, she gonna that instinct is just in them to kind of go like that. They're gonna have to think about it real quick. But for us, we can think about what we're thinking about. You can have a thought in mind. Why am I thinking about this? Why was going? As he talks about in the book, which was really, really cool. But KRS-One did a little lecture, and he was saying he had to buy the drink called Rockstar, and so he told the whole class to read it out, say it out loud, but only in their head. And so he said, "What said that?" You heard something, obviously, but what said it? That part right there, I was like, he's on to something now, So I kind of been looking at it. But honestly, once you have a sense of thinking and knowing what you're thinking about, and you be like, okay, so I'm neither here nor there, I'm in between, and then I can go wherever I want to go from there. It's almost like a river flow.
Right, man. Yeah. So I did the Audible, and
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to bits and pieces with my my kids, on the way to school or from.
Yeah.
And I was trying to put it in a way that they could understand.
Yes.
Right. I said, look at your eyes like a camera. You got the headphones, which are your ears, and all these different things.
Yes.
But all of it, that entire production, you're watching all of that. Right?
Yes.
On the inside. So even those thoughts, if you're not the person who hears it, you're not the person who's saying it, you're the person who's hearing it and experiencing it.
Definitely. Dave Chappelle talks about how Daphne in his special said, I just want you to believe that I'm a person having a human experience, and that's all it is. You have an experience of, this is life, this is what it is. And it goes even on to, low vibrational. Sometimes you think more so low vibration, because honestly we are very low vibration, but conscious at the same time. I don't want to go too left field with it, but
no, but I like that. I want to stay there and explore that for a minute, because when you gave that analogy with your dog, throw the ball, the dog thinks, boom, go, and sit, stay. He can hear commands and adhere to them. And I'm sure there are people out there who's like, well, what about slavery? Isn't that what we did? But I think what you're saying is that we're the only animal who can think about what we're doing and why we're doing it, and go in depth.
Right. And even then, if you bring up slavery, I'm pretty sure the slaves then was thinking about what they would be doing if they was free. And we are their wildest dreams. I can tell you that right now. So if ancestry does come back to us, and the elders do come back, within new souls just in this time period, then I'm glad I'm back, one. And then two, look at us now. And we'll just wait to see where we're going if we decide to go.
So as the world looks at a Rittenhouse, as the world looks at policing in certain communities and all these different things, you think the ancestors will still be like, this is not bad? Or is it going to be more of a like, I can't believe I did all that sacrificing, and this is as far as we've gotten?
So that's a good question, and I would go with the latter, only because slaves come back and look at us now and say this is only as far as we got. Again, they didn't even imagine this, because it wasn't even nowhere near time for it, 200 years, 300 years in, countless generations of people separated. So they probably thought this was going to go on or that was going to go on forever, and the fact that we probably got out faster than what they probably would have perceived. You never know. So it's definitely possible for them to be like disappointed, but at the same time, we still their wildest dreams. To go from whistling at a white woman to getting hung and beat up, poor Emmett Till, to now if you walk around with a white woman, it's like having a new bracelet on.
Not white women or accessories. Come on.
But that's not, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying in a sense, it's more common than it was.
It's
then.
more common.
It's more common. Yeah. But that's my plug too.
But that's why I love this book, man. This book opens all those different chakra points, right?
Yeah,
all
definitely.
These things, it forces you to expand your thinking on everything. As we ease on to the next quote, right?
Yes,
because there's a lot of what's going on in different communities. You can say LGBTQ plus, Black, brown, right, impoverished, all these different communities, right? I think what we're starting to kind of understand is that you need to, looking out, it can seem hopeless. Like there's not going to be much change that's going to benefit me or people like me. But then it becomes, well, if the outside isn't going to help, then how do I improve? And this quote from the book here, only you can take inner freedom away from yourself or give it to yourself. Nobody else can.
Yeah, I agree. And reason being, like, think about it. We are our biggest haters. That little voice on the inside of your head done talk to you out of more of the fun stuff, or some of the most exciting things you probably could have done in life. It didn't talk to you out of it. Maybe I should do this, maybe I should that, maybe I should talk to this girl, maybe I should, you didn't took yourself out a lot of great opportunities. But God being God, he can keep giving them to you. Ain't that something?
How's it go? You can't out-sin God's grace.
You can't. As much as you screwed up, he gonna give you another chance. But that also comes with you forgiving yourself. When you do that, then you're really onto something, because
So interesting you say that, right? Because the next quote is, if you truly love someone, your love sees past their humanness.
Right? Yeah.
But that includes you. I think that's what's so fun and tricky about the golden rule, right?
That golden rule.
Love God, don't put anything before it, and then love thyself, or love thy neighbor as thyself. Right?
Yeah.
That's three different things you have to keep in mind there.
But honestly,
there's neighbor, and there's God.
But if you look at it as one, then you'll be just fine. Goes back to George Clinton. Everybody's a little light under the sun. So let me find a way that I can be a light to this person. They don't have to be, I don't care if they looking like they down, look like they going through a lot, or whatever the case may be. They gonna look at me and say, either that dude really happy, I didn't expect that kind of personality out of him. Because I have my hair down, walking around Walmart with some house shoes on, and be chill. But as soon, somebody look, I say, what's up?
Right.
But but how can I say? You pretty much set yourself in that zone, or in that era where you want to be. Goes back to so if man think of so is he. Wait, push pause on this, back up some, and then ask that question you just asked again.
Oh, if you truly love someone, your love sees past their humanness.
Yes, because I want to talk about family in that. Just say again. I wanted to talk about family in that, how you could use that same logic.
Oh, so you talking about an edit?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Khaled.
And you just want me to reread the quote?
Yeah, reread it, and then you can edit it however you need to, because I want to make sure I hit a certain point now.
Okay.
All right.
So yeah, we talking about. Wait, how do we? No one else can. So we talked about, one quote being that only you can take inner freedom away from yourself or give it to yourself. Nobody else can. Is ideal of personal responsibility. And then it kind of looks outward with another quote, in that if you truly love someone, your love sees past their humanness. That has to include you in forgiving yourself, right?
I mean, you have to forgive yourself, because, if you don't forgive yourself, you're going to let any and everybody beat you up about it. Like he said, the girlfriend cheated in a blue Mustang. Now, every time you see a blue Mustang, you go here sad. Ooh, she left me. You keep sabotaging yourself, man. Forgive yourself and roll on. And when I was talking about with people gonna be people, whether family or not. You are people. You know, people gonna be people, and people gonna do some of the craziest things you ain't never thought people will ever do in your life. But they will, because people are people. It is what it is. But we all have a human experience. You know, some people bend to the left, some people bend to the right. You know, some try to walk the straight and narrow. But you all having a human experience. You know, so forgiveness, if nothing else. Now, sometimes things go a little bit left field. And you can't forgive everybody. Now that's on you. You deal with it however you need to. I ain't telling you to forgive, you know, somebody who touched you as young or nothing like that. That's up to you. You know, that's how you do. That's how you fight your battle. But in most cases, from what I've seen and what I've tried to practice and experience, forgive them. And if you can't forgive, you can definitely do your best to forget.
Yeah, but there are some things that just latch on. In the case of like molestation or anything like that, like how strong that is and how deeply embedded, even if you may lash out somewhere, you know, after that incident, not realize it's connected to that. That's why it's important to forgive. That's why it's important to look past people's humanness, and once you can do that, you can understand like the bigger picture.
Right.
That sounds really like
No, because honestly, like if you watch Animal Planet and you just watch the animals long enough, whether it be monkeys, wolves, however they communicate with each other, how they interact with each other, lions. If you watch humans, they do the same thing pretty much. You just watch them. Sometimes they bite each other, turn on each other. This animals being animals. It's in it. It's in us. But even then, you don't. How can I say? Your past doesn't have to be your present nor your future. You know, in a sense. So when you forgive those, and you forgive yourself, you know, then so be it. You know, some things do remind you, or kind of set you off, or kind of, you know, make you feel uneasy or some type of way, or bring back those kind of bad memories or feelings. But even in that same sense, you not having that experience, the version of you, like he said in the book, the version of you that's experiencing that is having that experience. Sometimes you have to take yourself out of the equation, man. And only because the Untethered Soul, you separating the soul from the body, because we all know we're going somewhere after this. So if this little piece of flesh ain't nothing, and it's gonna go on the ground and be ate up by worms, you know, 100 years from now, you know, then so be it. You know, where's this consciousness of me knowing, wait a minute, you know, I can touch myself. It's not a dream. You know, in most dreams, you look in the mirror, you touch yourself. You know, some nightmares, somebody cutting my hair. Every time I know I'm in the dream, I have a vision, somebody cutting my hair. That's how I know I'm asleep. I was like, okay, always. So forgiveness is definitely where it's at. You know, again, so I would say that would probably be one of the hardest things to do, you know, because boy, I'm telling you, that human flesh, that spirit, that little human, I'm telling you, they say the flesh is strong.
Right. Well, that voice inside you that you're listening to, right, or that thing that's happening to, you know, the physical self that you're experiencing, right. So when you look past it all, I mean, it sounds very strange to think that this life that we're living in the physical realm is a very short amount of time compared to eternity.
We're only here for a flicker. Hold on.
Right.
That fast. Not even that fast. Not even that fast.
I think the ideal of it is, you know, my 4-year-old running the house like he's not supposed to, stubs his toe. And then, you know, I go over there and like, hey, you okay? This is why we don't run in the house and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, you feel better? I feel better. And then it's over.
Yeah, that's
like,
it.
You think 30 years from now, like, man, remember 30 years ago, I stubbed my toe. I cannot believe it. You know what I mean?
No.
But we're able to look past those little things. I think what this book is seeking to do, right, or accomplish, is to get you to look past this, you know, whatever it may be. It could be 40, 30, could be 100 years that you live, right? Look past it and see it as a whole. And when you do that, there's such a sense of peace.
There is.
What we mere mortals call happiness.
Right.
Now, this is a long quote. All right. So
can I touch on what you just said, though, for a minute?
Please,
okay.
Please.
So, for example, you say we only here for a flicker. And the last part you said is, you know, if you think about it, Marx, whether it be a mark on your soul, mark on your emotions, physical mark. They cut, and they sometimes cut deep. Most of the times they leave a scar, something. I got marks on my hand, forehead. I busted my head when I was a kid. I wasn't a kid. I was in high school, man. A mess. Peace. Shout out to, rest in peace, Mez. My guy, he helped get that thing off my head. But I busted my head, bro, like plumb open. White meat.
White. Oh. I play football. Let's still make
man. That's probably why I'm crazy. You one of the sharers, aren't you? You a sharer. Goodness. Oh. That's all right. So nonetheless, marks is all we got, in life. That little mark between, my birth year is 1990 and the year I die. Ain't nobody gonna give a damn half the time about what I probably posted. Maybe, but in most cases, they ain't gonna think about it. They gonna think about, what did he do? How did he change my little life? That little mark of space. Cause that's all you really live. They got such and such born this day, died this day. All that matters, that little space in between. That's it.
The dash. That's right.
It. The dash. That little space. Go ahead. Go to the next quote.
Well, no, when you were saying that though, you going back and forth. This is a good one. When you were talking about the marks, the only thing that popped in my mind was Erykah Badu's Bag Lady. Right?
Bag Lady. That's it. Yeah. You're gonna hurt your bag. You carrying all the bags like that.
Like, man, yeah. Come on, man.
But we do that because we carry a lot of those bags emotionally, carry those mentally. You carry over stuff into relationships that ain't got no business being in that relationship. And
it taints the new relationship.
Man, it does. Yeah. You already self-sabotage. You jumping in the boat and then poke it with a knife. I'm talking about, I hope we make it to the shore. You ain't kicking, you ain't pedaling. Nope, I'm not gonna do nothing because last time I did something, it went this way.
But how many times do we do that? As humans,
human nature. Especially, Michael Jackson said it. Human nature.
Right. I made a mistake. But instead of looking at that, like in some of the other books we've read, what was it? Outwin the Devil, where it's like there are no mistakes. It's just
it's learning lessons. Yes, that's it. Right. Because a problem isn't a problem. As they say, is your problem is how you see the problem. Right. So. You got to go through in order to get to it. You ain't gonna get it right 100% of the time, the first time, second or third. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it may take 6 times for you to get it right, and that is okay. You know how long it took to make the light bulb? You know what I'm saying? It just takes time. So shout out to Tesla, not Thomas, but
not to Elon Musk, bro.
Yeah, right, right.
But I mean, it's just really. I think it's really incredible to think about the ideal that the Bible puts forward that, forgive others so that you may be forgiven.
Yeah, I mean,
so we're talking about the bad lady. We're talking about all these marks. We're talking about the Untethered Soul by Mr. Singer here.
Yeah, man.
Right. The idea that if you can forgive people for everything, I know it sounds crazy, but if you don't, that's going to affect you, more than it did the person who committed the sin or whatever,
right?
The infraction.
Think about for example, birthmark. So I got a birthmark on my arm, right? What if that's just my soul not forgiving somebody for probably shooting me in the arm, some craziness. So what is this? My soul just and it's just there, and I constantly look at it and see it and think about it. You never know. God works in mysterious ways. Right. God works in mysterious ways. There's something here.
Yeah. So man, so happiness, right? And I feel like I've learned over the years that aiming for happiness isn't really the goal, right? You aim for competence, and happiness is a result, right? It's a byproduct.
Yeah, for sure.
So he talks about this super long quote, y'all. Stay with me, bear with me. He says, if you want to be happy, you have to let go of the part of you that wants to create melodrama. Right? This is the part of you that thinks there's a reason not to be happy. You have to transcend that's that word we were talking about, right? You have to transcend the personal, and as you do, you will naturally awaken to the higher aspects of your being. In the end, enjoying life's experiences is the only rational thing to do. You're sitting on the planet, spinning around in the middle of absolutely nowhere. Go ahead, take a look at reality. Right? You're floating in empty space in a universe that goes on forever.
Middle of nowhere.
If you have to be there, or if you have to be here, at least be happy and enjoy the experience. You're going to die anyway. Things are going to happen anyway. Why shouldn't you be happy? You gain nothing by being bothered by life's events. It doesn't change the world. You just suffer. There's always going to be something that can bother you if you let it. But that last part is the punctuation, right? If you let it. If you let
it. That's where that control kicks in. God's so smart, he gave us free will. He's great. Because how is it that, let's say, well, I'm omnipotent and God knows your fate. And let's say there is a fate, or our destiny is definitely written in the stars. How we move on that and how we make use of it, is definitely, how can I say, the secret said your magazine, how you can just pick out, the best parts that you want in life. Yeah, we know stuff coming. It happens. We know death going to happen. We know it's going to come. We ain't going to live here forever. Might as well enjoy it while you got it, because again, this is the present. Every day is just the same. The earth just so happened to tilt. Cold is hot. It's cold. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
So not letting yourself be affected by the events of life. Right.
I mean, even if we talk about the event from last week with Kyle Rittenhouse, getting free, and so many people, and I get it. It is a thing. It is one of those things where you kind of think about it. Why is it that he got away with it? Because if he was black, I wouldn't have, we wouldn't have got away. And I get it. But at the same time, we don't need to put ourselves in a lot of positions and emotionally tie ourselves to things, because you get fatigued, either emotionally, spiritually. How they say, it was so many people. When Obama was president, it was a lot of young black teenagers getting killed and dying. But gun violence, Black Lives Matter kind of started around that time after Trayvon Martin, right? Mike Brown, all those guys, Freddie Gray. But during that whole little 8-year period, it was a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? And it almost got to the point to where it was numb. After we seen the one on Facebook with the one from before George Floyd, the one who got shot in the car. I can't remember. I would say Philando Castile. Yeah, Castile. Yeah,
with his girlfriend,
and the kid in the back.
Child in the car.
Yeah, child in the car. That I never forget that, me personally, because it was on Facebook, and I was in Nashville, and I just got back from some little event. I said they just killed another black person, and they got. It's live, and he leaning over to the side, with blood, and you see, he fighting for his life. This is it. Those kind of things stick with you, and so for me, that's sometimes I'll be like, okay, so if that's how they're gonna do us, and I'm paying attention to it just a little bit. Like I say, I'm paying deeper attention to it, because I see how they use a lot of that to kind of anger us, and kind of rile us up more than do anything to try to make us have any kind of conversation. We haven't had any kind of conversation, not since, January 21st.
Well, there's that.
Okay, I digress. Yeah, let's go. Let's go and go to the next one.
So the next quote. Right.
We ain't seen him. Ain't heard from him. You ain't black, but okay.
So, yeah, well, because we can go all day with that one. When a problem is disturbing you, don't ask, what should I do about it? Sorry, I'm all over the place.
That's all right.
When a problem is disturbing you, don't ask, what should I do about it? Ask, what part of me is being disturbed by this?
Right. Goes like what we were just talking about with how things happen in the past. Scars come, scars go. Sometimes there's a scab there. Sometimes you pick it off, and then it reopens. But we have to be careful not to do that again, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, definitely physically. And when I say physically, not just picking a scab off, but sometimes you may say, okay, I'm gonna go on a diet for 3 weeks, and this is what I'm gonna do. And then after those 3 weeks, something that you realize was really, weighing you down. Me, I love cheesecakes. You know what I'm saying? So I realized cheesecakes just wasn't working right. So I had to stop eating cheesecakes for like 2 weeks. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got to slow down eating cheesecakes. Now I see the results of me not eating cheesecake. That don't mean I'm going to go celebrate by having a cheesecake. You see what I'm saying?
I do that with cigarettes. Look, hey man, it's been 2 weeks, 2 whole weeks. Look at that, man.
This ain't half
I got
bad.
this. I can have one. Buy a whole pack. Just to have one. Like, come on, man. You knew what you was doing.
Man, let me tell you, the best place to try to quit smoking was in not Memphis, in Philadelphia, man. They people out there sell Lucy's. I know they sell them everywhere, but they sell Lucy's. You can go on the street corner to go get a single cigarette for $1. So people who trying to quit, let me run down there and go get a cigarette. Then you go down there with your $1. Now the man's still on the corner 2 hours later. Let me run down there and get one.
Right. So this infinite loop, right?
Infinite loop.
You get caught in that hypnotic rhythm.
That drifting. You in there. Right. You in there.
But yeah, man. I think that's one of the things that we always look at. Again, self-responsibility, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, the man's always going to be on the corner.
Always.
There's an issue.
The energy going to be there.
Right. There's an issue with policing in the country. There's an issue with how people perceive black people. Right. Now you can go about the business of letting yourself be drained by that, or you can say, all right, let me go clean my room. That's something I can control. Right.
Yeah.
Work out and eat better. There's some more things I can control. You start stringing those things together.
Let me go get my gun license. Let me join the NRA. You see what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
This is just me. This is what I did.
No. I hear you. Because as someone who's been trained, right? I've always been just enamored with getting everybody training. Like, I mean, it's just knowledge, right?
Yeah. That's it.
You look at a statistic, right? That word always trips me up.
That's all right.
You look at a statistic that says that most accidental discharges from a firearm are because the people who came in contact with that weapon didn't know how to handle it properly. Right. It's been a while. It's been a little bit, but this evolving thing, which is absolutely bananas, right? Like the idea that you're never supposed to point a weapon, loaded or unloaded at
Shout out to the harder they fall, man.
The harder they fall. Wait.
So that was a double meaning. But, yeah. I guess it'll be a good one.
Oh my goodness, man. Yeah. I haven't seen that. Look, don't get me started.
You haven't seen the harder to fall yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. Nobody got killed on set on that one. They were shooting left and right.
But I think even how they shoot those scenes is, like, I'm just saying, like, one of the first rules of gun handling is you don't train your weapon on anything that you're not willing to destroy. Right. I love the wording of that. You don't train your weapon on anything that you're not willing to destroy. Now that was me being taught by what was it? A drill. So I mean, he was a veteran, right?
Yeah.
Worked with the police. He trains policemen. That's one of the, there are 4 main rules of gun handling, right? Shout out to Still Motivated out there.
Hey, that's him. That's Isaiah Smith, ain't it?
Yeah,
that's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy. Hey, I might need them to be some security for me eventually. Come here pretty soon.
But the idea is one of the big 4 is you do not train your weapon on anything that you're not willing to destroy. Right. Another one is you're held accountable for every discharge. That part. And then kind of use that and mix it in with everything else. But the idea, like even this Rittenhouse thing.
See, if the prosecutors would have came up with a good story like that, it would have made a little bit more sense. But they were fighting and okay, go ahead.
No. What was you saying? You can't put the edge of my seat and say never mind.
So the prosecution, they was dealing more with emotions that in my sense, what we call common sense, which say common sense ain't really all that common. You know what I'm saying? They were fighting that battle. And sometimes you don't want to do that. With the one guy who showed the video, I think it was a defense attorney, showed the video of one of the dudes who, what's the name, Kyle Rittenhouse shot at. He was calling him nigga. So it was a white dude calling the other white dude nigga before.
Oh my goodness. I mean, the fact that everybody involved in this,
you see what I'm saying?
Be white, like
exactly.
The 3 people were killed, or 2 were killed, 1 wounded. White, the shooter, white,
by a jury of his peers. Who you think they look like?
Oh, man, this is a real whiteout. But so we talked last week on my other shows, right? Shout out to Let's Talk with Gail Zadine. Shout out to Urban Academia with Chulo.
Shout out, y'all.
Yeah, man. Like we break that down a little bit about how it's not just that, oh, he's white. Of course, he's going to get off. But we need to look deeper as why they were able to get off. And it always comes down to the language of the law.
That's it.
The language of law. Now, it's written in a way that it does support a certain group of people, but simply because they know the law and they have proper resources, they have proper representation. Right, that defense attorney was brilliant. Those two charges that got dismissed. Right,
that's it.
And look, this all ties into the Untethered Soul.
It does.
Right? Broaden your horizons to see the bigger picture.
Take a step out of it sometimes.
Right. Well, you can do you can do what the prosecutors did, which I'm gonna pull on heartstrings and get emotional.
Yeah.
No. They should have pulled back. And I'm saying the two things that got dismissed was him basically being a minor and out. Right.
Right.
And the type of weapon he had, which is a misdemeanor. Right. But here's why that happened.
I'm listening.
Right? The curfew one, they didn't present the prosecution didn't present enough evidence, right? Because it being such a small misdemeanor that only carries like a $200 fine, easily dismissed because they weren't prepared.
You see?
The second thing is, right, you got to understand that in the state of Wisconsin, because it's definitely different in others, which is a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
Why is it different in this state, in this city, in this precinct than another? Right. Someone who's under the age of 18 cannot be held legally responsible. Right. They don't have legal responsibility. Whereas, like in New York, the age is 16. Right. So if there's a documentary on Netflix.
What's the demographics on that one?
Don't start me a line. But I think we can understand the New York City versus Kenosha, Wisconsin, right? But
I don't know too many of us ain't know Kenosha. Now I know a lot of us in the Bronx.
But I think the bigger point is the language of the law, which states that like the type of gun that he had, an AR-15 style rifle, because it wasn't short, right? He couldn't be held responsible. So boom, dismissed. And once you get those two, then it just becomes a matter of more language, right? Is it reasonable to think that he was in danger in this situation? Did he just shout out, I hate niggers and start spraying the crowd? Or did he only target people who were in his imminent area, right? All that stuff, according to the law, he should have gotten off.
It was all with AR-15. They was all close shots.
They describe it AR-15 style rifle, right? I don't know why that terminology is there, but it's there.
It's there. All right. So allegedly for protection, allegedly whatever.
Was it his 15? Is it AR-60? Like
it was what it was because he ain't gonna come sue us like that boy did CNN and MSNBC. You hear about that boy who sued there? That boy was a teenager. When the Indian was up there.
Because of how they cut it. Now, to be fair, even him, right? How they cut that was the guy, They made it look like he walked up to this Native American and was just smiling in his face, right? But no, the little white kid was standing there smiling. Right? And the Native American was walking in the protest and turned to him and started beating the drum in his face. Right. So he sued him.
That's it. And he said, defamation of character. Ain't that crazy? Well, I tell you.
That's what I'm saying. The letter of the law, man. Down there in Florida, wonderful state of Florida.
The great state of Florida.
That 10, 20, 25 law is a monster, like minimum.
10, 20, 25.
Yeah.
That's how many years you get for
minimum
what?
Sentencing. But like
really
not looked at from instance to instance, like, oh man, I can't even remember his name. Michael Giles or Gillis, however you pronounce it.
I want to say Gillis. I think I know
veteran. Got into a fight, pulled a weapon because he felt in danger, right? Which Florida has a stand your ground law.
Stand your ground.
He fires, hits the guy in the leg. So let me tell you this: the guy he shot was a witness for him. The judge himself was like, "This is too obsessive." But he still had to give him those years, man, because the law says, sorry, it's
25 years.
Well, that dude's in jail for 25.
He didn't even try to get a pardon, nothing.
Oh yeah, they're trying to. I mean, that's what's so great
Yeah.
about little things. So when we talk about Untethered Soul, right? Getting back to the book, when we talk about Untethered Soul, and it talks about self-responsibility, and you think about one, how can I, shore up my area, my sphere, which is you first. Then if you're married, the wife, then children, so on and so forth. Your neighborhood, your community, your city, your state, as far as you can go. But it has to start with self. Right. So places that that advocated, like FAM, right? That's an organization that advocates for these types of laws, right? The minimums to be getting rid of. This is what we should be focusing on. This is what we should be paying attention to.
Right.
But getting back to our quotes, unless you got some on that.
It goes back to I think I was telling Paco earlier. We should have, and we are going to have our own police department, and we need to police ourselves. It just makes sense. We definitely need to make sure we get a group of lawyers together and have our own law firm. You know what I'm saying? We definitely need to start learning and reading the Constitution and kind of familiarizing ourselves with it until we can get those kind of lawyers going. Because Malcolm X said, only a fool will send his children to his enemy to teach him, and in most cases, the system is the system. You need a public defender. More than likely, the public defender knows the judge and the district attorney and the bailiff and the person that's downstairs taking in your belt and your medals. That's the police officer better than he know you. So it's just a flow. So until we can really take care of ourselves, it starts with us individually. So,
I think looking at that, you have to look past just because I don't know, man. I don't agree with that. Segregation, because the numbers show it. History shows it. That's not a long-term fix. Right?
Yeah.
Especially if you look at look at Black Wall Street. Like, think about this: a group of people that says pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Yeah, those people did that. Yeah, they were very wealthy, and literally crop planes were flown above the city, and bombs were dropped.
The Gap Band came up with the song "You Dropped the Bomb on Me." That's the story about that song. You dropped the bomb on me, baby. Gap Band. That whole song is about Tulsa bombing. That entire song. Yeah, go back and listen to the lyrics. The entire song.
People please check that out. Check it out. So I think what this book tries to do, right, which I think it does a great job of, is saying widen that gap. Because what Malcolm X, when he said that, that was well before he had his pilgrimage to Africa, right? And he realized, okay, it's not sensible to try to say, we need our own XYZ. There's nothing wrong with entrepreneurship and anything like that.
Right.
I'm saying we need to understand the rules around us. The idea that, he's in prison and this man approaches him and says, I want you to recopy the entire dictionary. He says, why? Is because you need to understand the language of the enemy.
Yeah.
And at the time, the enemy was white people. But then he broadened that when he goes to Africa and see white, brown, black, everybody, worshiping together. Right. And so he sees so there is a different way of doing this.
It is.
Right.
And then it works.
Yeah. But it's community, right?
It is
understanding that. That's that forgiving the humanness in people, right?
and people respect community. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I say that you think about whether it be Italian mobs, Jewish mobs, whoever kind of mob it is, whether it be in Chicago, New York, or even if you're here, you're not gonna see black people going into the Mexican community where they know it's a lot of Mexicans who they can shoot back if they wanted to and get rowdy if they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna go there and start no trouble the same way they ain't gonna come to our neighborhood and start no trouble.
Respect the boundaries.
Respect the boundaries. Right? Yeah. So even then, we gotta make ourselves more valuable, and that comes with having a form of intellect or wanting to learn, or even just being able to change who you are and what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? That starts the process, because once you get to doing that, once you start cracking the dam, the river gonna start flowing regardless, so little pieces gonna happen, bits by bit by bit. You're gonna run into more people who got a little bit more over here and a little bit more over there. You put pieces of the puzzle together, it's gonna work there just fine. Just fine. But it's gonna have to take, you're gonna have to be the one to let the river flow through you. I posted on Facebook the other day, a week or so ago. Said a lot of people want something miraculous, want God to do, something supernatural for them, but God can't use them to do the supernatural. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not even operating in the sense of letting it flow, as the infinite energy, as the book was talking about, you just having, your chakras flow and energy flow through you and out of you. If you blocking it, then you ain't gonna get nothing. It's just like that. God can pour out a blessing. You won't have room enough to receive, but hell, if you put the lid on before the cup is full.
Now I do love that this book talks about energy, right? And how the energy flows from the heart, and it's really infinite.
Yeah, it is.
What happens is like with an infinite source like that. I mean, think about like a river. We dam up rivers so we can kind of control the flow of that. But that's what the heart is. Here's a quote from that. You can feel this energy all the time, but you block it by closing your heart, by closing your mind, and by pulling yourself into a restrictive space inside. So it's like you got this infinite energy, you put the valve on, and then you yourself are closing it off, right? I love one of his best examples in there is how one of my favorite examples in the book is him talking about, like, imagine you're sitting there, you're down, you just kind of like, well, I just don't have the energy, and I don't have the time or whatever. And then somebody gives you some good news, and all of a sudden there's a big rush of energy. Well, that means
I'm guilty of that one, man. I'm guilty.
But that means that energy was there the entire time. So and all when you were down, it was just you closing that valve.
That's it.
Right?
Ain't it crazy how we do that to ourselves? Self-sabotaging. It's crazy. And we'll put ourselves through more drama. And like I said, the melodramatic parts of our life, we'll put ourselves through more BS, mentally, physically, spiritually, than anyone else. A lot of people ain't even got to attack you. You ain't got that many haters. You your biggest hater. Guaranteed.
Get out of here. Talk about for all my haters. It's like 3 of them. It's like 12.
That's it. You ain't got too much.
This is something that you're creating, and it's only bringing you down. And the people who you shared this with.
It's that. No, when he was talking about letting it flow and just being open, that's honestly what it is. Some people close up because it gets, and I say it gets some attention, but they feel better being negative. You know what I'm saying? Once you start, loosen it up a little bit and kind of being like, okay. And, again, take yourself out of the equation because, for example, the Golden Compass, the ever-flowing energy. Have you ever seen that movie or read the book, The Golden Compass?
Yeah, I've seen the movie. Yeah.
Okay, so in the movie, the little kids were the ones that was getting the energy from the animals that they had, right? Okay, that's the same sense. If you even think about in Harry Potter, those little animals that was following around was the ones that, kind of guided them through. It's like the dual spirit, But some people, they just so happen to, let the energy cut them off, or they cut the energy off. They cut the energy off, and that little animal is gone. Little animal is dead, and that full of life that you have, that you could have had, that energy that somebody else needs. You just, you're not pouring out. Everybody walks around with a big sign that says, "Say something special to me." Everybody walks around with that big old sign on. We just don't see it.
Which is why you see in the Bible a lot of the times there's a name change that happens. Because the idea being, if you go from your name meaning, garbage, right, to great one or loved one. Now every time someone calls your name, it's literally saying, "Hey, loved one, will you grab this coffee for me?" You know what I mean? Like it does something to that frequency inside, right? It really feeds your that it turns the valve back on, right?
It's crazy how we allow others to have that kind of like I said, that movement or power over us. My grandfather told me there are two kind of people in the world: either you're a thermostat or you're a thermometer. You either set the temperature in the room or you're going to adjust to the temperature in the room. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, you ain't got to tell me twice. I'm going in there 100.
But like you said, some people control it in the way of, they've been beat down or allowed themselves to be beat down by themselves or others.
And
that they set the high temp and then they adjust to that high temp.
When somebody else come in, somebody else bring your old past up, they bring your shortcomings that, people talk about you, then so what? To hell with them. They ain't got nothing to do with them. They ain't got nothing to do with you, because I can guarantee you, all of us have fell short. It's a lot of Christians say, and I use a lot of Christian reference because that's how I came up. but after getting older, it the book that we was, I don't say forced to read, God even left little success clues in there too.
Right. But I
so
think, but that's that yin yang thing, right?
it
Yin yang,
is, it is.
I think they pronounce it yin yang.
Yin yang, yin
Yin
yang.
yang.
But
you know what we're talking about. But
we westernized yang yang.
Right.
We don't even speak proper English. You know that? We go over to England, they're gonna look at us like we retarded.
Right.
We don't speak proper English.
Well, I mean, that's subjective, right?
Even when we
What's
try,
proper to you may not be proper to me. Right. Just like even slang, what's understood don't need to be explained.
That part.
Well, yeah. So the yin yang concept that we're supposed to be in the middle, right? The black with the white dot is chaos, but there's always room for order.
Yeah.
The white with the black dot is order. But there's always going to be room for chaos.
Always.
So I'd say to anybody like you, and I've had this issue myself of like looking at the Bible and be like, man, how? You know what I mean? But I think the ideal is to extract the wisdom from it, right? And when you feel that frequency, right, that spirit, that energy, that's when you're on to something,
right?
Instead of you worrying about each semantic or grammar that was added later,
right?
The Bible was audibly passed down
the correct way,
before we started writing stuff down.
Right. Thank you, Council Nasir.
Right. All this stuff.
Thank you, Council.
But don't focus. I think it's not meant to focus on all that, the semantics and all that. It's about the relationship.
That's it.
The relationship. We'll do our last quote. All right.
Yeah,
our last quote here.
I'm gonna cough like a kid.
Right. Got the black lung. So do not let anything that happens in life be important enough that you're willing to close your heart over it. Rittenhouse trial, policing, the system, right? Your neighbors, dogs, whatever is going on. You have to learn, you the individual, you who is experiencing all this, right, internally and out, you have to learn to be okay in all these situations, right? And all it should serve is for you to improve yourself. Because improving yourself, you never know who's watching you, who you're really influencing.
Right.
Improving yourself does improve the people around you. And I think that's a good note to end on. Your thoughts on that quote.
How can I say? Transcend, through elevation of thought, if nothing else. Like you say, you being around people. They say if you hang around 10 people who make $100,000, by chances you're gonna be number 10. That's what it is. Now it may take you 10 years to get to 10, but guess what? But that's gonna be you. You got to hang around in there and get around that kind of energy. To allow someone else to turn your energy off is not what you want to do. So to stop that flow. And the last thing you want to do is be that person that stops your own flow. The richest place in the world is not Egypt. It's not Jerusalem. It's not in the backyard where your granny hid the money. It's not even the richest place in the world, not even in Africa. The richest place in the world is any graveyard and cemetery, because it's full of dead people who had visions and dreams and never got a chance to get, even start it or go through it. You know what I'm saying? That's the richest place, bigger and better than gold, bigger and better than frankincense and myrrh, where the dreams and thoughts that we had that we talked ourselves out of, or we thought we weren't good enough for, we thought that we didn't know how to do this or do that. Hell, Les Brown said, I think it was Les Brown, jump off the cliff and grow your wings on the way down, man, for real, grow your wings on the way down. Because what's the worst gonna happen? Boom. Oh, it hurt. Okay. It's not the first time, it ain't the last. How many times have we went through stuff in life, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, there's chaos in the season of what was it? What was it? You just said it. It just slipped my mind that fast. But anyway, yin yang.
Chaos. No matter how chaotic things are, there's always going to be room for order.
Always.
In chaos. Look for order. When you're in order, prepare for the chaos.
And that's the thing. I mean, even times when I go through some trials and tribulations in life. Let's say those trials, tribulations that happen in this time span of 3 days, where it's like very hectic. But in those little time spans, dots just will happen to click, and it's like that's a little calmness. That's a little peace I need. This worked out fine. That worked out fine. Next thing you know, it's all over it. It worked out perfect the way it need to. Same thing when things going good. When you got those little 2-3 days, everything going good, you can best believe your girl gonna say, "We need to talk."
That is it, man.
That is it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. If Mother Nature, does her part and you do yours, we're gonna be all right. As she grows and elevate, we do too. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's a perfect punctuation, man. As a king, Jay-Z, as usual, thank y'all for joining us. Before we go, though, talking directly to the audience here.
Yes.
A mutual friend of ours, Sidney Williams, be in prayer for his family. Send you good vibes. If you don't believe in God or anything, just send you good vibes. We have a link right here in the comment section. It's been up for a while here, but it's a GoFundMe. And what happened is his daughter had surgery. She's 12 or 13. She had surgery, had some complications, but because of all that happening, she has to be home for 6 weeks and can't put any pressure on her leg. So the parents have to be there to, take care of her, of course. Yeah. But where they work is giving them time off, but is not paying them. So right before the holiday season, man, as we just passed Thanksgiving and we're approaching Christmas, of course, and New Year's and all that. This family is going a month and a half without pay. These are the things that we need to be thinking about, like people in this situation. Anything helps, 50 cents, $1, whatever, give as much as you can, but let's do our best to at least share this link and, see if we can help support this family who are in dire need right around the holiday season.
Is there any way that we can find out if we can give them any kind of gift cards or something to that nature too? We do virtual gift cards or something too.
Yeah,
if someone wants to donate that kind of way, because I just in case, I don't know how much GoFundMe takes out or anything like that, but I know sometimes that immediate little bit of cash here, money onto the side for groceries, what have, can definitely come in clutch. Yeah.
Matter of fact, here's the cash out if you feel more comfortable doing it that way.
Perfect.
Here's
perfect.
Yeah, we'll just you can reach out to them directly and see what they're comfortable with. And there's that link here. But yeah, please support this family, man. It's my good friend. Look, we've known him for a long time. We do a show together. Let's Talk with Gels and Dean.
There you go.
Just uplift them, even if it's just a thought and a prayer or just sharing that link. But they definitely need some support there financially.
Thought, prayer, and share the link. There you go.
There you go.
Do all three of them.
And thank you for joining us. Hey, tune in next month.
Yeah,
we're doing Nigger by the title is actually called. Look, I'm not just out here saying it because look, me and Anson went back and forth.
Called him a what?
Hold on. I'm gonna put this out here because I asked him to suggest a title, and he was like, "Nigger by Dick Gregory." I was like, "Man, I ain't trying to scare people off. I want this to be a comfortable place." But then I felt like some stirrings up inside of me. Personally, Mr.
Right up.
I appreciate for that because the idea is it's okay to feel a little uncomfortable, and it's all language, and some of it be strong. But we got through some very tough books. Whether it be like even Frankenstein, like that.
Frankenstein was draining.
But Outwitting the Devil has strong language, and all those here. We try to extract wisdom out of this and see if we can help in our day-to-day lives. That's the title of the book. By Dick Gregory, and make sure you read it, and we'll see you next month.
Right on. Y'all have a good one. Be blessed out there. Peace.
All right, stay peace. There you go. Oh man, we only about 5 minutes over. We did okay.
No, that's all right. I have no problem. I like when it's good like that. I can keep going. I can do that.
I know.
Yeah, I can do that. Man, they got the All Black party tonight. I'm going late.
Yeah, look, enjoy yourself with that.
I'm going late.
If you can tune into other shows, man, we're gonna really
you said 7. That thing don't start till it don't start till 7, but I ain't going till like 9 o'clock.
There you go. So me and Dean, we go for 45 to an hour at 5.
Okay.
And then 7 about 45 to an hour with Tony Richard.
Bet. All right, I'll do that. All right, so that's 5 my time, right?
Yeah, your time. Well, I always talk to people their time because I'm the only one out here in New Mexico.
Man, I thought about moving back to Arizona, bro. I thought about moving back to Arizona, man. I missed it out there, bro.
That
I
dry
miss
heat
it.
is something else. Like I have mixed feelings. I like it,
Uh-huh.
but man, it's hectic on my skin.
Yeah.
Like in Tennessee, you don't have to worry about
Mhm.
putting a ton of lotion on and all that.
You got some
But out here, you gotta
moisturizer.
drink water and slab up like every 5 minutes. It's crazy.
That's
You
it.
out here cutting your shirt sleeves and stuff on the elbows.
I got some holes in my shirt now.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Well,
shit,
hey,
brother,
thank you
man.
for your time. Tell
Like
Paco,
this,
is he there?
Yeah, he upstairs.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just tell him thank you for the time.
We'll do.
And
We'll do.
shoot, we'll talk later.
Right on, brother. You have a good one. I appreciate you. Send me
You
the
too,
links.
no problem. Yeah, no problem.
All right, brother. Peace.